Welcome back to the deep dive. You ever just stop and wonder why things happen the way they do? Like how someone rich loses it all or someone unknown gets famous?
Yeah, or the really smart person who just stays ordinary while someone else is supposed to breeze through.
Exactly. It feels like there are these hidden rules or something. What's really going on underneath it all?
It's a huge question. And ancient wisdom often boils it down to something like, man proposes, heaven disposes.
Okay.
So what we've done in this deep dive is look into sources that suggest there's a kind of fundamental fairness, maybe, a balance, where who you are inside really shapes your outside world.
Right.
Today we're going to unpack 4 big rules that seem to govern success and failure, then 3 key laws of life, and finally a principle about balancing your life energy.
Sounds fascinating. And the idea is understanding this helps you, what? Avoid misfortune, find success.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's less about predicting the future, more about navigating life wisely, leading to, genuine prosperity and avoiding pitfalls.
Okay, let's get into it. So the main idea behind these rules is powerful. It's that what you get, what you achieve, it has to match who you really are, deep down.
Precisely. It's about that alignment. The first supreme rule touches on this directly. Fame cannot exceed talent.
Meaning, if you're more famous than you are skilled, trouble.
Big trouble. Often. Think about Zhang Pailun, Qing Dynasty. Known for military knowledge, right? But put him on a real battlefield, Sino-French War, disaster.
What happened?
He panicked, fled, the entire Fujian fleet wiped out. His fame was huge, but the substance just wasn't there. It shows you really need to grow your talent faster than your reputation.
Wow. Okay, that's a clear example. What about money? How does that fit in?
That's the second rule. Wealth cannot exceed virtue. The old texts say virtue is the root, wealth is the branch.
So virtue first.
Absolutely. Take Hessian, another king official. Incredibly corrupt, amassed maybe 15 years of the entire empire's income, immense wealth. But tragedy followed him. His kids died, his brother, his wife. And in the end, executed, fortune seized. Without the virtue, the wealth became a curse, almost.
And virtue here means?
It's more than just being nice. It's integrity, ethics, a kind of selflessness in how you operate. That's the foundation.
Makes sense. You see stories like that even now.
Yeah.
Okay, third rule. Position. Power.
Right. Position cannot exceed contribution. Think Dong Zhuo, Eastern Han period. Seized enormous power, basically controlled the emperor.
But what did he do with it?
Nothing good. Abused his power, desecrated sacred places, burned the capital, killed scholars. Pure destruction. His position was sky high, his contribution negative.
And his end was predictable.
Violent downfall, yeah. It's like the universe corrects these imbalances when glory isn't matched by real positive input.
Okay, and the last of these 4 rules,
Yeah.
it relates to our own capabilities.
Exactly. Rule 4. A role or duty cannot exceed one's capability. Prince Ang, Warring States era, military commander, but he lacked basic strategic sense. Got tricked by an old friend, Sheng Yang, who was on the other side, lost his army, got captured himself.
Just wasn't up to the job.
Fundamentally, chasing a high position without the skills to back it up, the ancients called it licking blood on a knife's edge.
Ouch. Invites disaster.
It pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
So all 4 rules point to the same thing. Build your inner worth, talent, virtue, contribution, capability to match whatever you hope to achieve externally.
That's a really solid framework. So, moving from those rules,
Mm-hmm.
what about the wider laws of life?
Yeah, there are a few fundamental ones that come up. First is the law of conservation of suffering.
Wait, suffering is conserved. Like energy?
Sort of, yeah. The idea is challenges are just part of life.
Yeah.
The total amount you face is kind of fixed. If you dodge difficulty now,
You pay later.
usually, yeah, and often more intensely. So facing things head on, even if hard, actually prevents deeper suffering later.
Interesting. What else?
The law of conservation of happiness. This one's key. Happiness isn't really about wealth or fame. It's about your worldview, your inner state.
So don't chase external things for happiness.
Right. As one text puts it, sacrifice fame and profit for happiness, not the other way around. Find contentment inside.
And the third law.
Law of conservation of gain and loss. Basically, what you gain often depends on what you're willing to let go of.
How so?
Well, people who desperately cling to everything, they often end up losing it all. But those willing to release things, to sacrifice, paradoxically, they often gain more in the long run.
Letting go to gain. This feels connected to energy, maybe. You mentioned balancing life energy.
It ties in perfectly. We call it the law of active balance of life energy. It's about keeping your spiritual or inner self and your material or outer self in equilibrium.
Okay, so if my material wealth starts getting way bigger than my, say, inner virtue or wisdom.
That's where the active part comes in. You can proactively rebalance, give back, use that material wealth for good charity, helping others, ensuring it serves something beyond just you.
And that converts the material back into positive energy.
That's the concept. It can avert potential problems that arise from that imbalance, maybe even change your path. Remember Sun Wukong, the Monkey King?
Yeah, powerful dude. 72 transformations.
Immensely powerful. But even he couldn't escape the larger cosmic law represented by Buddha's palm. Nobody's above these principles of balance.
So wrapping this all up for someone listening, what's the main thing to take away and actually do?
It really boils down to this. Always aim for your inner richness, your wisdom, your character, your capabilities to be greater than your external stuff, your possessions, your status.
Cultivate the inside more than the outside.
That's the essence. Build your character, hone your skills, act virtuously. That's the foundation for everything else.
It really does provide a different lens, doesn't it? A roadmap for a life that feels more balanced, more fulfilling maybe.
I think so. And it suggests that while things might look unfair sometimes, if you look over a long enough timeline,
It all balances out perfectly.
that's the idea. Which leaves a final thought for you, the listener, to ponder.
Go on.
Think about your life like a jar. What kinds of drops are you adding to it most often? Are they drops of accumulated good deeds, positive energy, or are they something else?
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. It helps us reach more amazing people like you. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching.